again. Welcome into another edition of Exiles TV. Bill Profita, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
And I'm Kevin Gallagher, and we're so glad to have you with us on this fine Tuesday morning as we're really watching, I guess it's Hurricane Beta now, or Delta.
It's big, bad.
I've lost my betas, my gammas, my deltas. It's already a Category 1 hurricane, probably on its way to being Category 2 by later today.
Oh, maybe in the next couple of hours.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is what my grandpa used to call a woolly booger.
A woolly booger.
Before we get into that a little bit,
That's disgusting.
For those of you who follow us on Facebook, both the Morning Exiles page and my page, you noticed a post this morning saying I had to have some very unexpected dental work done. I broke a retainer on my lower jaw and took a couple teeth with it.
Yipes.
And Dr. Robin Levy of Levy and Vutera Family Dentistry has always been terrific. They worked me in yesterday afternoon within 30 minutes of my phone call.
Nice.
And the technical girls, the girls who make things and do things, they did a soft casting so as not to hurt me. They built a casting stone. They worked late into the night last night to actually build a new retainer for me, and they fitted it for me starting at about 8:15 this morning.
Wow.
And I know I had posted prior to that I might not be doing the show because I might still be in the dental chair, but I am here, I am pain-free, I'm getting used to it. As you can hear, my syllables are not quite as precise as they used to be. Or maybe it's I'm just drunk. You decide.
Well, I mean, there is a bar not 15 feet from where we sit.
Thanks to the ladies at
I've
Levy
often wondered
and
why we don't
Vutera.
make better use of that bar.
Yes, indeed. Need 3 fingers of Scotch mouthwash, please, and not the cheap stuff. Pour the stuff with the black
No, I'm
label.
glad. I mean, they gave you the VIP treatment.
They're just, well, they understood the urgency of it, and they were very good about that. All right, let's talk about Delta, shall we? It is now Hurricane
Favorite
Delta.
airline.
It is strengthening as we speak, and it's moving very closely. It is going to be a Category 4. I am not misspeaking. Category 4 within 24 hours. The National Hurricane Center is waxing poetic about it. They're saying a very impressive rapid intensification.
Impressive.
Sounds like they're admiring this this hurricane a little bit.
Well, you know, they're storm geeks.
It is going to whack Cancun and Cozumel in all likelihood as a Category 4 storm. And that is not going to be good.
Now, what does that mean for us? Because the storm is slowed, what they're expecting is that this storm will hit Category 4, but could weaken again to as low as a 2.
Yes.
Before it makes landfall sometime Friday afternoon, or, well, it'll probably be sometime somewhat early on Friday, but before any effects are felt in the Baton Rouge area, it could be Friday afternoon or into the evening.
Well, and now they're saying that it may be as late as 2 in the morning on Saturday.
Well, all right then.
But there always is, there's another factor in play, and that is when is it going to make that north by northeast turn?
Right.
Now there is wet air, which is bad, on the east side of this thing, dry air, which is good for us
On the west side.
on the west side. If it makes that turn before it gets to the meridian that is just south of Brownsville, it's going to hit New Orleans area as a glancing blow.
Okay.
If it doesn't, it's going to hit Morgan City, Thibodaux, New Orleans, the Florida parishes, hard. And we will be on the dry side, but we're still going to get a lot of wind.
A lot of tropical storm force wind.
Yeah. So this is kind of scary at the moment. And all the forecasters now, I noticed this, they're all, even Cantori, are saying there is a lot more to be discovered about this storm. We have to wait and see. So
Well, the young woman on Channel 33 this morning, what's her name? Ashley Ruiz.
Ashley Ruiz.
She
yes.
said it's probably going to be Wednesday midday or perhaps Wednesday afternoon before we have a much clearer and more certain picture of where the storm is going to go. Mm-hmm. And it's possible that by that time, Wednesday, it will be beyond the Yucatan and moving out well over open water, and we'll see, what the currents and the winds and the temperature and the air, sea surface temperatures in the air is going to do to it. Right now, that the storm is being sheared off to the north a little bit of its center.
This is not the kind of record you want to hold, but it will become a record-breaking 10th mainland U.S. landfall in one season. Last time that happened, 1916.
Wow.
So we can say, hoo-hoo, one more 2020 stat that we can look back with.
Yeah. Oh, happy day.
That we can look back upon with anguish in our lives.
So that is the latest we have on Delta. We're going to take a quick break. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, including who is going to be the next mayor-president of East Baton Rouge Parish, the most populous parish in the state. Our guest is Matt Watson. He is a current Metro Council member, and he'd like to be the next mayor-president. We'll be talking with him when Exiles returns in just a moment.
Taste the feeling.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you along with us. We are all on hurricane watch, but hey, have you heard? Did you hear that?
That's the hurricane.
And have you heard that there's an election coming? Well, there is no stopping it. Everybody but Kevin is running for mayor president.
It's too late for me to qualify, man.
It is too late for you to qualify, but
I didn't file my taxes on time anyway.
We're trying to bring you all the candidates and let them have a chance to speak with you directly. Metro Council member Matt Watson was one of the first qualifiers for the office of mayor president. And Matt, good morning. Welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me. Nice to see you, Bill. Nice to see you, Kevin, as always.
Good to see you as well. So yesterday was kind of an interesting mayoral forum, yesterday afternoon, the press club event. Where was that? I saw some photos, but I was like, I couldn't play. You were outdoors.
Yeah, we were outdoors in an open pavilion at the Rural Life Museum Center. You know, they have a rose garden over there.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha, over at
it
the
was a
Burton
beautiful day. It was really nice. It's great to have everybody be outside.
Well, it was a good idea.
Kind of stuff,
Because you were outside, there's a little less concern about COVID-19, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly.
So, one of the things that is going to become a controversy is the next big debate is not going to have everybody that has qualified. They're going to cut off a certain number of people. What's the level for polling?
What I heard yesterday from BRAC is that they were cutting off anyone under 5%. So you've got the people who will be in the debate are going to be the current mayor, Denise Marcel, state representative, former state representative Steve Carter, and myself will be the folks in the debate.
And
That's
so-
certainly tightened the race up.
Yeah,
quite
that
a
will
bit.
leave out Jordan Piazza.
The Guardian Rouge will not be there.
E. Eric and
Frank Smith
Frank
the
Smith
third,
the third.
who in my conversations with him, actually went bowling with him and his wife the other day because he wanted to thank me for cleaning up Sherwood Forest under I-12. He honked, said thank you, then called, said his wife wanted to sit down and meet with me because she wasn't too keen on him running for mayor. But he wanted to get out there and say this town needs to be cleaned up, and he's said it every chance he's gotten the opportunity. And he's absolutely right.
Oh, good
This
for
town
him.
needs to be cleaned up. So
yeah,
we
he's
got
right.
together to talk about it, and he seemed to like my message of cleaning up the city, which is part of what we absolutely need to do.
On that topic, do we not have a Department of Public Works, and isn't that part of their responsibility?
It is if it's managed correctly. The problem with this is, simple ideas like, imagine this, we've got street sweepers that could run every single night with one person driving and one person riding in the other side of the car. And they're sweeping the streets, and one person's keeping track of, oh, there's a pothole at this location, there's a street light out at this location, and do that at night when there's less traffic so that we can put that in the queue and then organize where we can go out and accomplish a lot of things in the same geographical area to make a whole lot more sense. And then sort of do things in the right order, from as a guy with a contractor background from my father, his grandfather and everything, you don't put the drywall on the wall if you haven't put the wires in the wall for the electricity.
No.
So when you have someone who goes and fixes a pothole, saws it, puts some concrete down and fixes a pothole, and you then realize that pothole was caused by the crack in the sewer drain underneath, we got to tear all what we just spent of your tax dollars, tear that out to go fix what we should have fixed in the first place.
I'm watching one of those right now at Congress Boulevard.
Yeah.
They have got the entire street blocked. They have got 4 heavy lift cranes pulling pieces of something, probably sewer pipe and roadway out.
Well,
this is the 3rd time in a year.
I got you. But I'm telling you right now, you are going to see a whole lot of spending activity by the current administration because, I'm sure y'all were great students in school, but there's kids that put off getting ready for the final exam and then cram
And then
for that
cram their brains
like
out.
crazy for that final exam. That's what this mayor's doing, having done nothing for 3.5 years. She's repaving streets rather than fixing the drainage in neighborhoods, and she's out digging stuff up. Anything that could be seen by the community that she finally cares about our community.
What those of us who have been around a long time call the Pat Screen playbook.
The mayor came out recently with
There was a dog in the middle of Goodwood Boulevard and got blacktopped when he was running.
What?
Are you joking, or is that apocryphal?
That's apocryphal.
Okay. The mayor recently came out with her plan to address the crime problem. And the things that she had announced didn't sound like they were bad initiatives. Some of them sound kind of expensive. But I thought, how is this going to cause people to want to commit less crime? I didn't see a correlation. How is this going to bring about less crime? The problem is we have a mindset in this where people are willing to commit crime.
The problem that we have with crime is, as much as the mayor wants to spend $2.5 million of CARES money, which is supposed to come in having been tied to COVID,
Right.
she likes to blame, she uses the phrase global pandemic as the cause for crime. Or the reason why she
Like we didn't have
hasn't-
crime before COVID-19?
That's absolutely true, and how her inept chief of police can't manage the police department to proactively police because he's following her orders to stand back. You got 100 people partying on Plank Road, officers stand back unless it gets to a point where somebody's been shot, then you're forced to act. So at this point right now, spending all that money on social programs, those folks that get those dollars or get involved in those programs are going to certainly benefit from it. Whether it has anything to do with stopping people from committing crime or not, I can't tell you that there's going to be a positive correlation. I'll tell you two things. One, there's a definite positive correlation between living near blighted, abandoned buildings. If you live within 1 mile, you're 13 times more likely to die of murder. And another thing is, if you give someone or a community $2.5 million for social programs, that's good, maybe will change people's mentality and change the way people live their lives years down the road after those plans have been perfected. However, who's going to stop the people who are going to get murdered this weekend? Police.
Fair question. Police.
We're 100 police officers short. We've got a police chief that doesn't believe he needs more police officers.
Is that so? Does he said that?
I'll show you the tape. You know, I could have had 100 more police officers. I could have had 2 more police officers. That shooting would have happened. Let's just call it what it is. He's in a public forum made that statement.
Well, I'm a believer that police can't prevent individual crime, but a better police presence helps you prevent crime overall.
Correct. Absolutely correct. What I would do if I was mayor is I would take one of these assistant chief administrative officer positions, of which now this mayor has created 4, so she could give Calvin Hill, the guy that fired 700 people in Zachary at GP before retiring with a golden parachute, she hires him to create another job at $150,000 a year. I'd make one of those positions specifically over public safety. So a liaison to all the fire departments and the sheriff, EMS, but primarily over BRPD. So this would be a person with real, practical, long-standing understanding of police procedures. Go out in the community, communicate with folks in the community. Say, I'm going to tell you what you already know. Here's the crimes, here's how it's happening.
Before we go to break, is it maybe time that we should stop the chief administrative officer or assistant chief and call them deputy mayors for something like that? So there's a clear portfolio. You're the deputy mayor for public safety.
Well, you call it whatever you like, but the main job is going to be that public safety officer, myself, and proper leadership from BRPD are going to go out and speak with the community, say here's the crimes and the prevalence of crimes in your neighborhood, and here's what best practice across the country of a professional police force can do to lower these rates of crime. We need your buy-in. And have those, the quiet voices, not the loud voices that try to disrupt people and divide people.
I know you're talking
people who honestly have worked for a living, paid for their house, taken care of their property, and want something better for their community because they like where they live, they just don't like what's happening. And it's disgusting to hear some of the other mayoral candidates say, oh, I would send, police into the worst neighborhoods. Go to those neighborhoods. Those people that live there don't think I live in the worst neighborhood.
They don't like being told they live in the worst neighborhood.
They've got some real challenges.
Yeah, and they don't like the crime either.
It's a great neighborhood. They don't like the crime either. Exactly.
We need to take a break. We will continue with mayoral candidate Matt Watson in a moment on Exiles TV. All right, why is the airport calling?
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Cantea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Cantea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruge Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruge Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Over there. I'm Kevin, and Matt Watson, Metro Councilman, District 11, and candidate for Mayor President of East Baton Rouge Parish, is with us. By the way, we are going to try to get all of the remaining candidates for this race on the program before Election Day. We've reached out a couple of times in recent weeks to the mayor. The mayor's office has told us that she is more focused on leading the parish through the COVID-19 crisis, and that they'll get in touch with us when they want to do some TV. I can understand that. I don't look. Do you regard that as a blow off? I don't regard that as a blow off.
No, I don't. I think it's her choice, and if that is her choice, that's fine with me. Getting back to
I'd jump in on that. Maybe your listenership and viewership isn't most likely to vote for her, and she's just putting her chips on some other number.
Well, that could be. But
I don't think that anybody should make a presumption of who's watching this program.
I think it's exactly right. I will go on every single opportunity that I can go on.
Yeah, and I think that. All right, let me just take one editorial moment. I think it's always the candidate's decision.
Sure.
I do think that if you say I am busy, with the current crisis that faces us, just like it does the nation, that is a legitimate reason. But
sure,
this is also a legitimate forum for you to explain what you're doing during the current crisis.
Absolutely correct.
So, in my opinion, it might have been beneficial, but that is only my opinion.
I would agree with you.
On to your candidacy.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about public safety in depth.
Sure.
All of us in this room believe that our cops deserve a raise.
Yes.
If you are elected, how would you make sure that happens?
For starters, we've got to go through the $93.5 million that is the BRPD budget. We had an efficiency study done for BRPD that found between $7 and $12 million in savings. A lot of those savings are one-time savings.
Okay.
So when you get a candidate that says, I can give everybody $10,000 in a raise because we've got these savings, that's a bonus. That's not a raise.
Yeah.
Because it's not ongoing cost savings. You've got to go and look for other ways of changing the way things are done, changing what money's been spent on, making sure that you turn over your cars. You've got the mayor saying, we bought them new cars. She got a bunch of FEMA money from the flood in 2016. Mm-hmm. She didn't buy anybody cars. She said, oh, thanks, FEMA. And then those dollars bought cars. So she takes a lot of credit for things other people have done. But in the long run, we have got to get a raise for the police officers. It's been a long time since we've had BRFD firefighters get a raise as well. So when we're talking about people who are going to stand between you and a bullet, or someone who's going to put your house out when it's on fire and save your children perhaps from the building and everything you've spent your money on. Those are the people that are really necessary governmental employees, even though they're when you're a kid, I want to be a fireman, a policeman, or a race car driver. You know, these two iconic things from your kids exist today. It's something that people become. They serve an absolute wonderful force in our community, and our insurance rates go down when we've got a class act fire department. Our insurance rates will go down when we've got an excellent police department, and more importantly, with the police department working well and reducing crime. If we reduce crime to just the level before the current disaster of Sharon Weston Broome happened, we'd be at a decade-low homicide rate, which we were in 2016 before she set the all-time record in 2017 under her poor leadership and poor choice of chief of police. If we go back to those levels, we're more apt to attract businesses that are going to hire people, that are going to give more opportunities to people, so that maybe they don't choose a life of crime, or maybe they have a job already and they move to a job that maybe pays them a little better and has more benefits. Just bring in economic activity, because that's the engine that makes a community stay together and form in the first place, is opportunity and jobs.
On that topic, how do you feel about the job that the Chamber has been doing as the economic development arm of
I think they're doing the best.
City parish
I
government?
think they're doing the best they can, given the fact that they've got to sell a bill of goods to a lot of companies that want to come here and say, look, we've got this many rooftops, we've got this much in median income. You know, we can sell from this. You've got the river there, you've got railroads, you've got highways, etc.
But they've kind of got to put lipstick on the pig to try to sell it.
Absolutely. Because when you've got over 400 people, men, women, and children, murdered in this community since this mayor took office, you maybe have to fact check me, but I don't know of any 4-year period that had more gun deaths in this area since the Civil War.
No, it has been very bad. But let's talk about economic development a bit. As a member of the Metro Council, I noticed firsthand, sitting in some meetings, that you were championing the North Baton Rouge Economic Development District, probably more than the people who represented those areas were.
There was a lot of catfighting, or infighting rather, amongst people who wanted to be in control of that, and one particular council person who was aligned with and didn't like certain other people, so it was petty politics.
But being mayor is different from being one member of the council who's trying to get something done.
Exactly.
Will you continue to push that North Baton Rouge Economic Development Corridor?
North Baton Rouge is the sleeping giant of economic development in this community. When you look at the height
that sounds like a soundbite right there.
When you have the height of the dirt is high enough, that's why everyone started building there. When this town started going, you got Spanish Town, Beauregard Town, but when the plants came up, the people that worked at the plants moved right next door to the plants. Why? Because it was not a risk of flooding. Now in 2016 it did flood because no one was maintaining the drainage.
Yes.
So people who needed flood insurance didn't flood, but people who didn't have to buy flood insurance ended up losing their house. You can go out and look at some of the houses that are still standing that are condemned but not been torn down in 70805 from this. But in the long run, we just got to take care of all the regular infrastructure that we've got. We go down and we tear down every single abandoned, dangerous condemnation that's gone through due process. We tear all those down. You're removing a scene for crime. You're improving public safety, you're improving quality of place, you're showing an African American demographic that a white guy cares about what they're doing to try to mend any kind of racial disparity that may be pushed by the loud voices in our community. Because I'll tell you, when I go out and talk to people in any community, we're all united in dissatisfaction with how government is running right now, the direction this mayor is taking our community, and if we can get all these condemnations torn down, that's going to spur a ton of economic development.
But my question is, if you tear down everything that's blighted, then you wind up with block after block after block of empty lots, and doesn't that in its own way look bad? Especially for economic development.
It doesn't look bad.
Unless you're rezoning and saying, put your business here.
There we go. Now we look at different areas and we try to talk with the hardworking men and women who live in that neighborhood and talk to them about what we're trying to bring here. have people who are going to live in that neighborhood understand what types of businesses we're going to try to bring. But primarily what we're going to try to bring there, my work with the Greater Baton Rouge Home Builders Association, they've got all kind of grant opportunities to build in the millions, to build affordable housing that's not just affordable to buy, but affordable to live in because they're energy efficient, and fill in those gaps with new stock of homes, because most people, no matter where you live in this parish, most people would prefer to live in a standalone, detached, single-family house. Continue to replace that
with like insulation in the walls and stuff,
and windows that close, and
roofs that don't leak.
And if this house isn't tilted like that, you know, you can turn that in a way that you're not displacing the population in North Baton Rouge, because no one legally was living in a house that's half burned down.
Right.
You're moving that out of the way, and then between the time of the condemnation and then the time where you're building the new house, the energy efficient house, you've got what some people are calling a mowing liability, but I call a mowing opportunity. The mayor's budget has $200,000 in it for a summer work youth program.
Let them cut that grass.
If we have them cut grass, and I've created a program that's going to have an app where the kids would come in, they sign up for a program, they sign up for a checking account, so they're working with financial literacy, they've got the app, they open the app and boom, it's the blue dot where you're at, you've got red dots of all the places around where they're physically standing that already have a court order to have the grass mowed. They go mow it, take a picture, they mow it, they take a picture when they're done, and then they get money wired into an account. What does that do? Gets the grass mowed, creates a job, creates an entrepreneurial job, because they're their own boss when they're out there doing it. They learn that they're getting paid by the job, not by the hour. Then, as we all know, and I'm sure they do as well, I'd rather mow my yard at 7 in the morning than at noon. So perhaps that changes the behavior, so that some people who are motivated to do this job aren't staying out so late the night before, and they don't get guilty by association of hanging out with some people that may do something illegal the night before.
Right.
One quick one before the break, going back to that North Baton Rouge sleeping giant of economic development.
Exactly.
I mean, I would think, aside from the residential, the commercial, there are plenty of commercial realtors, including a lot of African American owned firms, that would love to have the go-ahead on some of this blighted commercial property to get it ready for development, and they'd go out and do it.
All right, here's my plan for when you're talking about commercial. The Brown Velvet Creamery building at Plank and Choctaw was condemned back in the 70s. I went to the Martin Luther King Center on Gus Young, and we sat moved all the chairs in a circle, and they all were telling me what was going on. The lady says, "They condemned that building when I was in the 8th grade. I got gray hair. What's going on with that building?" Here's what's going on with that building. This mayor puts $140,500 into the budget for tearing down condemnations, and houses are $6,000 on average. If the Brown Velvet Creamery building, the estimate is correct, it's $1.2 million to tear that down and haul everything away because of the size of the building, the amount that you're going to have to haul, and possible asbestos remediation in the walls themselves because of the age of the building and trying to make it fireproof.
Right.
Now, I've been talking with bond attorneys, some that have traveled in from out of state and some here locally, to come up with a financial instrument where local people can invest money in a bond that's associated with a large condemnation of a commercial property. That money tears the building down, and then those people that bought the bond become the recipient of property tax until they're made whole, adjusted for inflation, after the property's redeveloped.
That is exactly what I was looking for. We are continuing with Mayor President candidate Matt Watson. One more segment with him, in which time Kevin will ask the question.
The St. George question.
Stick around on Exiles TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Belello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Belello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Welcome back to Exiles TV. Glad to have you with us this morning. A reminder, a replay, 10 o'clock at night of this very program. If you'd like to watch it again instead of local news, well, please tune us in on this very channel wherever you happen to be in South Louisiana. You will see it at 10 o'clock. Continuing our discussion with Metro Council member and mayoral candidate Matt Watson. Kevin, I want to get out of the blast zone.
And I am a resident of the St. George area, and it represents roughly somewhere in the neighborhood of a quarter of the population of the parish, roughly. And so a lot of people want to know. Now, I don't care whether you were for it or against it before the St. George vote was taken nearly a year ago. It doesn't matter to me. Some people are trying to hang Steve Carter for something that he said about St. George before the election a year ago.
He just said something the last week as well. So.
And we're going to have Steve Carter on a future program. But with St. George now a reality by way of a popular vote of the citizens of the parish, where are you on them now? And if you're elected mayor president, what do you think you can do to call the dogs off with this lawsuit?
Here's where I stand on this: is every single elected official that gets sworn in swears an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the state of Louisiana, and the plan of government. And this was a legal election. I've got some people complaining about, they only got 54% of the election. That's hardly a mandate of the people. Well, this mayor that's running this parish right now only won by 51.83%. That's hardly a mandate of the people by that logic. It only takes one more than 50%. And the folks that wanted to form the city of St. George won, not only getting enough votes on the petition to get on a ballot, that struggle, they also won the election on October 12th. They won the election. We've got to respect the rule of law and the fact that they won an election. And instead of suing to try to stop the inevitable, I mean, the governor has already signed into law the transitional taxing district to allow St. George to set up. So who are we kidding here? This city's going to be formed. It's going to move forward. You've got a mayor that says, oh, I need to have them tell me how they would handle this, that, or the other thing, and what my plan is. They're in a situation right now where they're constructing this. It would be something that my administration would work with them on to understand how they're going to run their own municipality. What are the responsibilities that remain parish responsibility? What are still state and federal responsibilities, so we can wipe that off the table? Ask them some questions about law enforcement, because there are some things that are going to change about law enforcement out there. I know they say that they've got the protection of the sheriff. However, when you create a municipality, state police don't handle accidents on Seagan and Bluebonnet and Highland and Perkins anymore, because now they're inside a municipality, and that municipality would then handle car accidents, for example. So you're going to need to have more deputies in that area, and you can't expect people in Pride and Indian Mound to pay extra toward EBRSO to create more deputies for that area. So that's something that could be handled, and I'm sure the people of St. George would understand that they would want to spend more money to make sure that they're taken care of by understanding what state police are going to do as far as their change.
The real issue here,
sure,
as I see it, is, first of all, I do not like the mayor-president suing her own constituents.
That's absolutely childish. Absolutely childish, and it's not a way to go move forward in a constructive way.
But the real issue is that the least productive in terms of tax revenue into the city coffers, not the city parish coffers, but the city coffers, wants to still hang on to some of the revenue that would come out of the most productive area, which is St. George. Well, and I'd like to see how that gets justified. Because I don't think you can.
Well, I'm not going to try to justify that. I'm going to give you an example of exactly what you're talking about. I'm in with a couple other council people, Linda Hunt, head of finance, the mayor, and Daryl Gissel. There's some other folks there as well, but the conversation was, up on the wall was the fact that from the studies that this current mayor has paid LSU's folks to do, $48.8 million in revenue would stay in the city of St. George to allow them to operate their own municipality, and it wouldn't go into the general coffers of the parish to be spent by the council, really not approved by council, but spent by the mayor. I looked at that $48.8 million, and I looked to Linda Hunt, and I said, okay, Linda, I understand we're going to lose $48.8 million going into the general fund. How much expenditure do we have for maintenance in that area that we're no longer going to be responsible for to offset that dollar amount? So what do we look like at the end of the day? She looked at Daryl, she looked at the mayor, and then she looked at me and said, we really don't have any way of calculating that.
Nobody worked that number up?
No.
No, because the number they don't want to see.
Here's the thing. It was either, look, Linda Hunt is a wonderful person. She does a great job, but she's also a department head working at the
pleasure of the mayor.
And the pleasure of the mayor. So she's going to say some things or not be able to say some things that she'd like to say. So either they really don't know what they spend and what they do in that area, or they do know and they don't want it to get out because that meeting was before October 12th.
Gotcha.
Well, and
so if you're taking $48.8 million and you're getting $29 million worth of services out of it, where's the rest of it going? Possibly where you were saying.
That's the big problem. We all know that the economic tail here is trying to wag the economic dog. A lot of the outcry to hang on to this tax revenue is coming from areas and representatives of the areas that don't produce diddly squat in terms of tax revenue. And this is a great example, not of cost shifting, but of appropriation shifting.
I got you. And I'll tell you, the solution to this problem is, one, on the ground, revitalizing North Baton Rouge, revitalizing Old South, revitalizing areas in our community that are not as economically active as they certainly will be after I'm elected mayor. Get that money generated, because economic activity brings sales tax. When you replace a structure that nobody's paying any ad valorem property tax on it with something with value, you're going to get some ad valorem property tax out of that. You want more taxpayers, you don't want higher taxes on anybody. So that's going to solve that problem. So the other problem that you've got is we need to have, with the St. George folks, equitable meetings to talk about what a constructive path forward is, because you were asking me before how I would get out of the lawsuit. I'm not party to the lawsuit, nor was I ever. Sit down with the leadership of St. George, sit down with Fred Rayford, everybody else that's handling everything right at the beginning, because we're going to have all hands on deck and talk about what the expenditures are. Say, this is the plan going forward. Make those conversations not just constructive, not just kumbaya moments, real negotiation going to have to happen, some hard negotiations probably going to have to happen, but make it as transparent as possible, because you're not going to get Mary Olive Pearson or Sharon Weston Broom as a private citizen to drop this lawsuit. You're going to have to show you're making progress so that everyone that comes to the witness stand to complain about St. George, Judge Morvant says, I just read in the paper they solved that yesterday. What are we doing here? By having these meetings and working things out.
Councilman Matt Watson, he is a candidate for mayor president. The election is November 3rd. If people want to find out more about your campaign, what is your website?
I have a website, matt4ebr.com. So that's Matt, the number 4ebr.com. Facebook, Matt for East Baton Rouge Parish.
We thank you for being with us.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Appreciate you being our guest.
And we wish you good luck in the future.
Thank you.
More to come on Exiles TV. We'll wrap it up and give you another look at the hurricane, oh God, in just a minute.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
back, and this is Exiles TV. I am Kevin Gallagher. He is Bill Profita, and our thanks once again to Metro Councilman Matt Watson, candidate for Mayor President of East Baton Rouge Parish. This is a big election.
It is. It is. Our new format, by the way. Clarence Buggs will be following us in just a matter of a few minutes. We are now all on throughout the week. Kevin and I will be here from 10 till 11. Clarence will be here from 11 till noon.
Monday through Friday. And of course, there'll be some weekend repeats as well. It'll turn up here and there. Just check your local listings. I like this plan. I think this is great. And it, like I said, it feels to me much more like the good old days of our radio show when, Clarence would come in and we'd, just kind of have a little handoff, and then Clarence would follow us every weekday morning. So
I haven't noticed. Is Clarence still smoking?
I have no idea.
Does Clarence still duck out to have a cigarette?
I have no idea. You know how I feel about smoking. A lot of people say smoking is a big sin, but to me, it's like smoke 'em if you got 'em. It's a legal substance. Enjoy.
Well, which doesn't address the health impact of smoking. Speaking of smoking, and we were talking about police. This morning, I had to go to the dentist office, and they finished with me, so I took a little different route to get here for the program. And I am on Government Street behind two guys in what appeared to be a 700-year-old vehicle that...
Really? 700 years?
Yeah, they had to make turns at about 4 miles an hour, and the back end still tried to catch the front.
Mm-hmm.
And they were both smoking giant joints with the windows down. Well, it came into one
broad
of the...
daylight in front of God and everybody?
Oh. So there came upon a construction zone. Now, I am behind them, and I've got everything in my car turned to recirculate because I don't want to get the contact high. I could smell it, all right? We go to a construction zone, and they've got a police officer watching over to make sure people don't speed through the cones and kill the people that are working. And one of these guys drops the roach out the window, and it almost hit the cop in the feet. And this poor cop, he's like, well, hell, I'm kind of boxed in here by construction cones.
Nothing he can exactly do about it at the moment.
He wouldn't have been able to get out in less than 3 minutes anyway. But it's like, really? Are you that brazen?
Daring him to do something about it.
All right, here's the deal.
And, we are becoming more brazen. I think America is becoming more brazen and more accepting of marijuana, but it's still illegal. In Louisiana, it's still illegal. They'll still take you to jail.
Well, and
don't be too sassy.
Driving in a car that's going to fall apart when both of you smoking. Each of them had their own joint, by the way.
I don't know if I want to spin this around and let Marty try and get an image of this woman's face or not. How much time do we have here?
Well, while you're spinning, Hurricane Delta is now a Category 4 storm with winds of 140 miles an hour.
I don't know if I need to tip it up or down for glare.
It is still expected to impact the Cancun-Cozumel area as a Category 4 storm.
I'm sorry if I'm being mean, but look at that mugshot. This is a woman who has, you can see the headline there on the screen.
I can't read it.
Drug-laced candy. I'm going to spin it back around. Marty, you got it, right? Okay.
Drug-laced candy.
Look at that face. Is that a deer caught in headlights? Poor thing. Deputies find a trove of drugs and drug-laced candy inside woman's Livingston Parish home.
Oh, imagine that. Drugs in the LP.
In the LP.
I'm shocked.
You're shocked. That is the face of 32-year-old Takara Jackson, taken into custody this week. They found large amounts of marijuana, cocaine, THC edibles, and cannabis oil extract cartridges. They also found a handgun, packaging materials, a digital scale, and drug paraphernalia because, if you're going to have drugs, you got to have a digital scale and packing materials, right?
Well, you got to know how much you're selling.
Booked on a slew, I love that word, a slew of drug charges, including possession with intent to distribute, possession of a firearm with controlled substances, and possession of controlled substances in the presence of minors. Of course, there were kids in the house. She's been released from jail on $121,000 bond.
Wow.
I just love a good mugshot. I think we ought to have a local show that's just mug shots. Like put it on after the news at like 10:30 and just mug shots.
Either that or we got lots of spare time. Why don't we buy into the bar and call it mug shots? And we could have mug shots all over the walls.
There you go. And we could just, put mug shots. There used to be
mug shots and nicknames.
There used to be a thing. Some of our neighbor TV stations and stuff in northern Louisiana would do. They'd have a mug shots feature, and they'd have the sheriff's office send them all their mug shots, and they'd post them on the website. And then they started breaking them down. So ugly mug shots, outrageous mug shots, cutie mug shots. That's what we need. More and more mug shots.
Good. Well, we are going to keep an eye on Hurricane Delta. It is now Category 4. It is expected to make landfall at Cancun as a Category 4 hurricane in the wee small hours of tomorrow morning. That is not going to be a good place to be. And the island of Cozumel, which is only like 60 miles due east of Cancun.
Is Cozumel an island or is it a coastal city?
It's an island. It may completely disappear, at least temporarily.
Wow. You're full of doom and gloom today.
Well, this thing is awful. This thing is frightening. We need to be very afraid of this. We've
Category 4, right now, 130 mile an hour sustained winds. 130 miles an hour. It's hard for me to even imagine.
We're trying to get the folks from GOSEP on with us for our Thursday show. It'll be most appropriate to have them then. So in the meantime, take all precautions and take care of yourselves. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stick around for Clarence Buggs, who is coming up your way next on this very channel.
And as always, God bless. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.